Hey everyone, Sean from the Buckeye Wedding Expo here. We are going to meet with Adonica from Simply Decadent on tips for choosing cake for your wedding. Hi Adonica, thanks for joining us today.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Well, first, let's hear more about Simply Decadent. We talked about all the options and everything, and it's a family owned business, but I think that's a fantastic thing to share with everyone. So tell us more about you and about the business.
Okay. The business is me, my daughter, and her mother in law. We own the business. And we have my son, her stepsister, and her aunt that have also worked here. Um, and all the kids have grown up here. So,
And we were talking, everyone is talented, right? When it comes to that, this wasn't just you bringing other people in. I think everyone has a hand in this, and people left other careers to be able to create the business that you guys have, right?
right, right. My daughter was actually a nurse at Miami Valley when we first opened, and she had to quit because we got too busy here. um, Everybody else just was working other jobs too, so everybody does part time here, which is fine.
Well,
um, yeah,
it probably takes a village to do what you do because you offer a service that is, I think, unique when it comes to creating things that are just made almost from scratch. I mean, I say that not really knowing what goes into making a cake, but we talked about you have the ability to create everything. Everything's custom made. Is that right?
right. Everything. Um, the cake flavors, the designs, everything that has to do with the wedding cake is customized for the couple.
Okay. So then that's, I mean, flavor wise, tell me about some of the unique flavors that you've created in the past, because it's not just vanilla and chocolate and things like that. You're able to create anything, like things that I've never even heard
Yeah,
of.
we do. Peach lemonade is one of our really popular ones. We also do a peanut butter cake, which a lot of the couples will take a layer of chocolate and a layer of peanut butter together. So it's like a Reese,
Yeah.
but we do that a lot. And we have a triple berry, which is blueberry, blackberry, and raspberry. And all of the ones that we have that are fruit actually have the fruit pureed into the batter. Um, we have a white chocolate raspberry that has white chocolate melted into the batter. So it's like a thicker cake. What else? We have mint chocolate chip. We have peppermint chip. We have anything, pumpkin. We have maple bacon cupcakes. We can't we candy the bacon and put it in the top. Yeah, that's for the maple sugar maple festival they have down here in Bellbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Well,
we do
I feel like
that.
we should have done this meeting on site. I feel like I should taste test. um,
Man.
when it comes to the creation of those flavors, though, it's not just like here's on a menu. You talked about the puree. You can customize it even beyond, those flavors. You can put a little more blueberry, a little less blueberry. You can kind of create, almost anything to taste or to the liking of the client, right?
Right, right. We actually have a lemon blueberry cupcake or cake. It's cupcake, and I believe that one we can do in gluten free.
Okay.
So
So, gluten free is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Again,
right.
outside of flavors, you can customize these to. I think a great line you said is anything with sugar. You can make anything with sugar. When it comes to the customization of the gluten free and things like that, what things do you offer in those areas?
Gluten free, dairy free, egg free. Um, did I say vegan?
I don't
Vegan.
think so.
um, I think that's
Okay.
it. There might be more,
If
but
they're if someone comes up with something different though, you could probably do it, right?
yeah, we will try things.
So that kind of encompasses, the need to come into the shop and really and talk to you and work with you, understanding that customization is a process, a creative process. You want everyone to come in to actually have consultations or face-to-face meetings with you. Is that right?
Right. Plus, I can go over the different ways they can do the cake if they just want one cake or if they want a cake and side sheet cakes that we do that are double layered. They're big or cupcakes. So just, yeah, it's just easier for them to come in, sit down and go over with us what they like, if we do a cake that is split down the middle and the bride gets to decide the design on one side and the groom on the other. And we've had several of those. And the grooms tend to like to color them all black so that people's mouths get changed. And they're like, that's fine.
We are children. I can't deny it. What does the process look like coming in? Do you just pop in, or do you schedule
Yeah.
something online? Do you call ahead of time and and you'll walk through like, here is the things I need for the vision that you're looking for? How does that look like?
Well, we could have them come in and they can pick we have a free tasting where they would get chocolate and vanilla and they could pick one flavor. They come in, do it. Or we do a flight where they get 6 different flavors. We charge a small fee for it, but that would go towards their wedding cake. So a lot of people go for that one because they get it taste more
Yeah, yeah.
flavors.
I mean, and you bake each one of those too. They're fresh baked stuff, so you're not just pulling it out. So that's understandable, absolutely. When it comes to the creation process, so a delicious cake is the base. I 100% agree with that. But the decoration can go, So how do you work with the design of what it looks like on the outside?
I sit down with them and I draw the size cake and we go through it and we try it different ways until they figure out which way they like it. They can bring in pictures of cakes or pictures of anything, really. They can bring in patterned clothes, like a plaid shirt or whatever, and we can put that plaid on one of the tiers and just fix it up the way they totally them. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it can be just a photo of this is how I want it to look all the way up until, here, let's work on some designs and things like that. Here is my design palette of my colors, my textures and things like that. And do you have like previous designs or like inspirations that they can kind of look at and you can say like, this is what I'm going for, and you can say, how about this, how about this, how about this, and then customize it outside? Is that how it works?
Yep, that's what we do. Um, we have a book with some pictures in it of cakes we've done, and we have a Facebook page with tons of pictures on it. So they can also look at those.
Okay. When you design, so you've gone through the process to say, here's the flavor that I want, the specific flavor or a creation of, here's the design that I want or a creation of. Now the question is, how much do I get? How do you decide when it comes to buying a cake for your wedding? How much, how big, and
Well, we usually base it on how many people they've invited, and they'll take off 10 or 15, whatever. And then we give them until 1 month before their actual wedding to change how many people they have. That way they've had a chance to get their responses back and everything. So we can adjust it then, or some of them just keep it the way, the way it is anyway. But yeah.
so there's a base of the how much you should get, and then but you guys aren't there, right? The caterer is the people who cut and things like that. So how does the caterer know? Do I give a 3-inch piece, or how does that work?
The cake cake slice sizes are set for all of them. I don't have the well here. I got this. This has this is something they can play with when they come in. The grooms really like them. They can adjust the sizes to get the amount that they need on this.
So then they get that, and then the caterer knows how big to cut to be able to achieve the amount of slices.
You can actually pull the diagrams up online, and it'll show you how much each tier, how you cut them. But caterers should generally know how to cut.
And you work with caterers and venues a lot, so I'm sure the relationship's already there, and they already know how, right? Like,
yeah. A lot of the venues too will do it. They'll have people that are working there, and they can cut the cakes.
Now, you don't have to have just a a tier cake. You can also have sheet cake options, right? As far as like, I want this smaller cake design wise, but I have 300 people. How does it work if you want a sheet cake or a cupcake or anything else?
Well, the sheet cakes, we actually do double layer, so they're thick, just like the wedding cakes are. So it looks like the wedding cake. We decorate those to match the cake. And then cupcakes are, you should get extra because people are going to eat more than one cupcake. They'll eat the different flavors. They just will. Some of them. So yeah, there's the 3 different ways. And when they come in for a tasting, I will sit down and give them the price on each of the 3 ways to do it, and how that would go for them.
Okay. So, I mean, you got customization all the way from the start to the end. We've talked about coming in and sitting down for a custom tasting, and all of the flavors you can create, the gluten-free that you can create, the cake itself, all the designs. We went through a lot. Wrap it all up in a bow and let me know 3 or so tips that we can pass on to our attendees at the show.
First tip is to always come in for a tasting. Even if you don't want to taste the cake, we can sit and go over all of your choices and get the pricing. Second tip is when you go for the designs, you can pick anything you want. It doesn't have to be a cake topper. It doesn't have to be cake decorations. We've used geodes on top that people had collected, and we've used all kinds of stuff. And make sure you bring something that's the colors you want, because colors on a printer aren't always the same and they don't come out right. And so for the decorations, bring in pictures, bring in anything that you want to include on it. We can make little dogs and cats to put on that look like your dogs and cats. What else?
Well, I think that is, I mean, that you've already blown my mind. I mean, with the options and the things that you can do. So thank you for sharing all of that, and thanks for sitting down with me. I've been to hundreds and hundreds of weddings, and I never knew that I may have been eating sheet cake the entire time, because you make it to look like the cake. That's mind blowing to me. So thank you, Adonica. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you today.
Thanks, you too.